Hi, welcome back to my channel. So I'm excited about this week's coaching video because today I'm going to be giving you 16 reasons why having your life turned upside down makes you stronger. Now, I know you're thinking, Michelle, you have lost your natural mind. Why would I want my life turned upside down? And how in the world does that make me a strong person? Well, let's jump right on in. Number one, it makes you realize who's really there for you. It's easy to be there for someone when the sun is shining and the sailing is smooth, but the people who really matter are the ones who stick around when the water gets choppy and you need to be thrown a life raft. The people who stick by you during the worst of times are the people who will matter for the rest of your lives. Y'all hear me when I say that. The people who are around when things happen are the ones that's going to be with you for the rest of your lives. And there's no way to find out who those people are without first going through these tough times and seeing exactly who disappears and who stays. Number two, it gives you the opportunity to finally make the uncomfortable changes you've been putting off. When the majority of your needs are satisfied, there's little motivation to make any significant changes, even if those changes would be highly beneficial in the long run. When the stakes are down, look at it as an opportunity to finally take the chances you've been too afraid to take for so long, and you have so much less to lose, and therefore so much more to gain. Number three, it makes you realize how much you can truly withstand. So none of us really knows how much we can withstand until we are going through something. When you are facing something that is just so out there, that is when you know how much you can really stand. Because see, we can say, oh, I can take on anything. I'm this, I'm that. But let that thing happen to you and let's see, can you really withstand it, right? So none of us really knows how much we're capable of until we're forced to find out. And during the truly difficult periods in our lives, they teach us exactly how resilient we really are in ways that you've never ever known that you could be. Now, I don't wish that on anybody, but I'm telling you, it's something that if you've ever gone through it, it does make you a much stronger person. Honey, the stories that I could tell you all, but I won't. Number four, it provides you with a sense of compassion towards others who are struggling. The most empathetic people are the ones who've been through the most themselves, and once you've seen your life get torn apart, you will forever remember what it feels like to be in that position. Because and I do, trust me when I tell you, as a single parent, I do know what that is, and so I know what it feels like when I see other people going through it. It provides you with an immeasurable sense of compassion and patience towards others who find themselves in the same position. Number five, it forces you to rely on your core strengths. Aside from all of the strengths we learn and build on, we have a core set of natural skills that never leaves us. And the more chaotic our lives become, the more those core strengths rise up to meet the challenge. If there's anything our tough times of great struggle teach us, it's the ways in which we're naturally and unintentionally and almost unintentionally strong. Let me tell you something, honey. You don't know strong until you have to be strong. And let me say that again. You don't know strong until you have to be strong. And I've been down that road. So I'm not just strong physically, I'm also strong mentally because I have had to be in the past. And I think that's what has shaped me to be the person that I am today. Number six, it challenges you to face up to the worst parts of your life. Just as our greatest strengths rise up to meet us during times of struggle, so do our greatest demons. While it's never fun to face up to the parts of ourselves that are wholly unglamorous and raw, it's a confrontation that sometimes needs to be had before we are able to move forward with greater awareness and wholeness. Number seven, it makes you realize how much you still have left when you lose everything. Boy, if this is not telling my story, when you lose everything, it shows you what you still have left. So yes, you've lost some things. Yes, you've lost some people, but look at what you still have left. The cool thing about losing most of what we have is that we never ended up truly losing everything. At the end of the day, you're always left with a few core strengths, virtues, and if you're lucky, relationships, and it turns out those things take us much further than what we may have expected. Number seven, it strips the unnecessary, y'all forgive my language, please do. It strips the unnecessary bullshit from your life. I said it, okay? When the shit hits the fan in our lives, all of us, our petty day-to-day problems seem to jump ship. Let me say that again. When the shit hits the fan in our lives, in my life, in your life, all of our petty day-to-day problems seem to jump ship. We are left to deal only with true, genuine issues, and in some ways, that is a wholly refreshing change. Number 9, it gives you the opportunity to rebuild from the ground up on a foundation of what's important. Sometimes we lose sight of what's important. We think everything is important, but there really is only a small core group of those things that are truly, truly important. Nobody ever wants to have to start their life over from scratch. But the brilliance of doing so is that you get to build the strongest, firmest foundation imaginable, based on only what truly matters. You're old enough and sure enough and strong enough to actually know what you want by now. And there's no reason not to make the basis of everything you do moving forward. Okay, number 10, it brings you closer to the people who really matter. And this is so important. If hardship has any silver lining, it's that it brings people together immeasurably. It will bring people together in ways that you can't even imagine. The people who see you through the worst and messiest periods of your life are the people who will forever know you in a deeply intimate way, and the bonds and the bonds you form during these periods will simply be unmatchable. I have many friends, but I have one BFF, and I think I've told you guys before that I can tell her anything. I can share my deepest hurts. I can share my deepest secrets. And I can share my biggest joys with her. And I know that what I say to her stays with her because what she shares with me stays with me as well. And it is so important to be able to have somebody like that in your life. Number 11, it gives you a greater appreciation for what you have during the good times. There's nothing more humbling than knowing that at any given point in time, all that you have could fall apart. Though it's an anxiety-inducing thought in some ways, it's an incredibly liberating one in others. After a period of struggle, you learn to appreciate the good times in a way that you've never done before, because you know that they won't necessarily last forever. Okay. Number 12, it forces you to advocate and fight for yourself. See, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I can fight for you all day long. Your neighbor can fight for you all day long. But at the end of the day, you have to fight for you as well. Because if you're not going to fight for yourself, why should I? Okay? When the stakes are down, we are forced to become our own greatest advocate. No matter how much we have help from other people, at the end of the day, it's always going to be up to us to put our broken lives back together. And the resilience we foster in the process is something that never truly leaves us. So you've got to learn to fight for you, honey, because if you sit back and wait for other people to do it, it may not happen. So number 13, it hands you a new perspective on the life that you've been living for so long. So we rarely stop to examine the lifestyle we're living and whether or not it serves us. But when everything else is falling apart, we are offered the unique opportunity to step outside of our regular routine and evaluate it for what it is. We realize all that we can survive without and the ways in which we have been holding ourselves back all along. Because sometimes you're the one that's holding you back. Number 14, it forces you to grow into a new, bigger version of yourself. When our lives are thrown into a form of chaos that we've never encountered, we are forced to grow into people that we have never been. And I'm going to tell you something. Let life happen to you, because it's happened to me. And I was forced to grow into the person that you now see today. And I never thought I would see myself in those situations. And the new versions of ourselves are stronger and better and more capable than we've ever had to be in the past. See, no matter how much it hurts to grow into them, sometimes it hurts to grow into the person that you are. It hurt to grow into the person that I am, but I had no other choice, because being a young mother at 17, well, 17 and a half, it forces you to grow up quick. And you have no other choice but to grow up, step in that role, and move forward, because you now have somebody that's depending on you. So if I got down and I got out, guess what? My daughter wasn't going to have. Well, let me not say that, because, my mom and dad, my sister, my brother, they were always there too. But you get what I'm saying. When you have people that depend on you, honey, you got to step up and make some things happen. Number 15, it makes you realize just how little you can survive without. The truth about our lives getting turned upside down is that it makes us understand how little we truly need to build ourselves back up. All of the money, the toys, the tools, and the means of validation that we normally rely on turn out to be a lot less necessary when we thought they were. Sometimes you don't need all of that. Number 16, it provides you with a sense of inner confidence that never goes away. That inner confidence will take you so far in your life. The beauty about having everything turned around, the beauty of having everything turned on its head is that you eventually, inevitably turn it right side up again. And once you realize that you're capable of doing so, the fear of your life falling apart again mysteriously disappears. It just goes away. You know that you can deal with the worst, and so you don't have to consistently prepare for it. I've seen the worst. I've experienced the worst. And so now I don't have to constantly prepare for it because I've been there. I've been there several times. You see what I'm saying? You can live your life boldly and confidently, harnessing a newfound inner strength that never truly leaves you. Y'all, I want you really, I really want you guys to go back, and I'm going to list them all out in the description boxes. I want you to go back and really think about those things and start to put them into place in your life. If you've gone through something, and even if you're not going through something, these are still some great tips to use. So today we talked about 16 reasons why having your life turned upside down makes you stronger. So number 1, I said it makes you realize who's really there for you. Because that is so important to know who is truly there for you. People will say they are, but let some stuff happen and folks start falling off little by little. I mean, you really search high and low to look for people. But the ones that are truly there for you, they'll be there. Number 2, it gives you the opportunity to finally make the uncomfortable changes that you've been putting off. You have some uncomfortable changes. I have some that I really need to make, and we need to be about the business of doing it, and not just when something happens. Number 3, it makes you realize how much you can truly withstand. You can withstand way more than you think you can. Honey, let me tell you, because if anybody had told me the things that I would have to withstand during my lifetime, I would have said, oh God, I can't do that. But you'd be surprised at what you can handle. Number 4, it provides you with a sense of compassion towards others who are struggling. You really need to have a sense of compassion. Just because you're not going through something now, honey, think back to a time when you did. Put yourself in that person's place and have a little compassion for them. Number 5, it forces you to rely on your core strengths. Number 6, it challenges you to face up to the worst parts of your life. You got to face those things head on. You may not want to, but at some point you will have to. Number 7, it makes you realize how much you still have left when you lose everything. Let me tell you a little secret. Honey, when you lose everything, then you have something left. So when you lose stuff, let me say that, you still have something left. And if you don't have not one materialistic piece of anything left in your life, you have your health, you have your strength, you're in your right mind, you have a God that still loves you and still doing things for you. You have, for those of you that do, you have close friends, you have close family members, so you've not lost everything. Number 8, it strips the unnecessary bullshit from your life. Go through something, and I promise you, all that unnecessary crap, honey, that just goes away. And if you had been thinking about how to get rid of it, now's the opportune time. Number 9, it gives you the opportunity to rebuild from the ground up on a foundation of what's important. It allows you to look at your life, look at all these pieces that you have going on. Figure out what's important. If this half isn't important, get rid of it and only keep that which is. Number 10, it brings you closer to the people who really matter. See, I think sometimes in our day-to-day life, we forget about those people that truly matter, and we tend to keep them at arm's length. But let something happen, those people either step up or we gravitate to them, and now they're back within our inner circle. So never forget about the people who really matter in your life. Number 11, it gives you a greater appreciation for what you have during the good times. Okay. Number 12, it forces you to advocate and fight for yourself. Remember, I told you, you've got to fight for you. I can fight for you all day long. But if you don't fight for yourself, what difference is it really going to make? You know? Number 13, it hands you a new perspective on the life that you've been living for so long. Number 14, it forces you to grow into a new, bigger version of yourself. And number 15, it makes you realize just how little you can survive without. You think you need all this stuff, and you realize when something happens, you can survive just on small things. Number 16, last but not least, it provides you with a sense of inner confidence that never goes away, and you need that inner confidence. I can't tell you how many times I run across people that don't have that inner confidence, and you can see it. It just shows all over them. I have an inner confidence that's bigger than anything that I can think of. And you would never know when I'm not confident about something, because my inner confidence always shines. So even when I'm not confident about something, honey, you would swear up and down that I was, because that's what it looks like. So find your inner confidence, because it never leaves you. So you guys, that's all I have. Thank you so much to my new subscribers. Thank you so much to those of you that continue to support me in all that I do. I love you guys to the moon and back. And I want you to work on strengthening yourself after life has knocked you down, because guess what? There is more. There is more out there. So when your life gets turned upside down, it's not the end of the story. Let me say this: when your life gets turned upside down, there's not a period at the end of that sentence, it's a comma. You know why? Because there's way more left for you to do. So stop putting a period where there should be a comma. Again, that's all I have. Love you guys so much, and we'll talk again next week.